Welcome everyone. I'm Nikhil Sablania from New Delhi. Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat, Namo Buddhaya. And again, we have with us Mr. Amrit Lal Rawalji, Mr. A.L. Rawalji. He's a publisher, an author, a professor, an intellectual, and also he had been a journalist. I have recorded various videos with him on various issues. You can go and watch on our channel, and you can also find on Facebook. You can write his name with my name, A.L. Rawal, Nikhil Sablania. You can find all the videos, and please do watch the videos. He had been one of the very first publishers who started publishing writings of Dr. Ambedkarji, other authors from scheduled caste communities. And I have seen it's very rare to find a passionate person like him. He is now, I think, 75, and still he has a passion for not only a certain section but also for the country. And there are many more achievements which I don't know. And recently he sent me that he was awarded by Delhi University on the study of partition of India. Am I right, sir? Could you please
Yes,
elaborate on that? Then we can start.
yeah.
Why you were facilitated by Delhi University?
I was felicitated because they have opened a center for independence and the partition studies. Basically, the Holocaust of 1947 and later and before 1947, the trauma of the people is being recorded. So I was also invited there to
What did you
record
say? Like
my.
scheduled caste people, trauma of scheduled caste people.
No, the people who were displaced from
Okay, all
Pakistan.
the people, like irrespective of any
Yes,
caste.
all the people.
Okay, okay.
So there I emphasized that Dr. Ambedkar had warned the depressed classes that their life would be reduced to second class citizens if they do not come. So Dr. Ambedkar had clearly said that they should come to India, whatever be the cost. These are the exact words of Dr. Ambedkar. And he was so prophetic in his vision, in his whatever he said. Whereas Dr. Mandal, who became the first law minister of Pakistan, he realized very soon that his decision to join Pakistan was wrong, and he resigned his post from law minister and came back to India, and then he, lived a very painful life because his dream, he had trusted Jinnah, but his trust was failed by Jinnah. He was betrayed by Jinnah.
Sir, about the incident which took place, like about the episode of Mr. Mandal, but there are also incidents of other people, like one a king, Chakma king. He stayed in Pakistan. He was a Buddhist. He still follows Buddhism. And people in
Yes.
India, they asked him to come back. He didn't come back. And also the king of Sindh
Mm.
also joined Pakistan, and they are happy over there. Like they enjoy their powers over there. They participate also in the elections, and they get ministerialship also. And Pakistan has also given separate electorates to Hindus. But many people also say that Mr. Mandal had another dream, which he was not seeing in Pakistan, and he wanted to establish, achieve other achievements, like to accomplish some other achievements in India. That's why he came back. So, what's your stand on that?
Well, I do not know anything about this aspect of Mr. Mandal's life. That he had some other ambition. He wanted to have. He wanted to do something else. But what I want to say is that Dr. Ambedkar was so prophetic in his vision He was like a prophet at that time, and nobody listened to him. That is the tragedy of this country of India, that he was not, given water. He was not allowed to take water in his office, and his PNs used to throw files at him. This was the most disgraceful behavior which Dr. Ambedkar suffered. But since he was a great man, therefore a great man always tolerates these small,
So they were
these
also they were also
pinpricks.
Hindus. They were also Hindus. They were also Kshatriyas also, Brahmins also, who were his friends also. His wife was also a Brahmin lady, and she supported
Yes.
his ambitions, his thinking, even after him. So there are also like good people. Like there are also people who accepted what he was saying and who were also against caste system. That's the thing. Like we are always told about all the bad elements, but there are also good elements in the society, and
Yes,
society has
yes.
all the elements. Even within scheduled caste, there are a lot of untouchability within scheduled caste communities also there. I mean, still they don't marry to each other. Like if you take the examples of various castes which are included in the scheduled caste, they even don't marry with each other. So I think that it's a problem. It's a social problem of Indian culture which we have to deal with. I mean, in the longer period. Now coming to our
Yes.
present time, and we are seeing the developments which are taking place and the U-turns which are taking place in the international politics. We have seen that Trump was with Mr. Zelensky and the war is going on. Now, Mr. Trump has taken a U turn, and today also some statement has come, though I have not gone into the depth of those statements about the Italian, I think, Prime Minister. So, but this U turn of Trump, how do you see this U-turn? That because what Zelensky is saying and what the European Union is saying, European Union is saying that we want Zelensky, but he went with Trump. Now there is also a conflict between European Union and USA. Now this conflict, I think, which India must understand, the major conflict is about the new AI system. The new systems are emerging, and European Union knows they have already made the Privacy Act and to get themselves away from the clutches of AI system. Now they are saying that what Mr. Trump is doing, he is doing this thing which is and against the democratic ethics. Now he is shaking hand with Mr. this Russian chairman Putin.
Putin, yes.
So where do you see India in all these developments? Could you please elaborate?
Actually, the statements of Mr. Trump, they are quite confusing. They are quite confusing. So, I, they are quite confusing. So, I believe that, I mean, at one time he says that Mr. Modi is my good friend and all that, and then he also slaps tariff on Indian goods. So this is a very confusing scenario now. And about Mr. Zelensky, he says that, he says that he would like to end the war, but how can he end the war when Russia is not satisfied with the terms, with whatever is there? Actually, Russia has started the war because Mr. Zelensky went into the lap of the Americans. I mean, on the instigation of Americans, he destroyed his weapons to appear as an angel. I mean, if you destroy your weapons, it means you do not want to protect your country. You do not want to defend your people. Now, when you become weak, then you have to dance to the tunes of all. So he has been requesting all the countries of the West and also America to give him funds and arms. But how long can they give funds? they are not getting gas. Russia has stopped giving cheap gas
Yeah,
and
I
other
wanted to.
energy sources.
I would like to add something which Mr. Zelensky is saying. Mr. Zelensky is saying that Russia, America, USA wanted half of their rare earth metals, and that Mr. Zelensky isn't ready to divide with to share with America. So half of the resources they wanted. I mean, this is like indirect, like what kind of support this America was giving to them when they want half of their resources, and they are the most precious things like in the future. So they wanted to take away
Yes,
the future
yes.
from Russia from Ukraine.
Rare earth materials, are very precious, and they also, give the raw material to make weapons. These are the raw, power. So Russia, I mean, America was not correct in forcing an already battered country to ask for such things. Now it is clear that it is very clear that America tried to befool Zelensky first by destroying its weapons, then asking the United Nations to force India also to destroy its weapons, but it did not ask China to destroy its weapons. So it was lopsided, approach. And the thing is that it seems that Mr. Trump has realized that China is the real threat to USA, and it wants to engage in a war with China. Therefore, is all these things are going on. This confusing scenario is being created.
Well, what about the relationship between Gulf countries and Russia, like particularly Iran and Russia? What about their relationship? I mean,
No, Iran has now, become quite friendly with Russia, whereas earlier, the people used to call it an evil empire and all that. I mean, Russia, USSR was dubbed as the evil empire, the empire of evil, things like that. But now Iran is getting support, military support also from Russia, and maybe from
so
North Korea also.
if USA and Russia they shakes hand together, then what about the price of oil? Because now we are getting cheap oil, and if USA asks
Hmm.
Russia, don't give cheap oil, then what are the consequences for India and Europe, and what are the consequences of future, and where the Arab countries, the oil producing countries, would lie in such future?
Actually, oil is a very strategic material which the Gulf countries produce, and earlier they were not producing oil, so therefore they were very poor. But ever since oil was discovered by the American companies and by others, then they became rich. So oil is a very important material, and if the Gulf countries refuse to give, oil to USA or other countries, then I mean they will not be able to survive.
But what about the price of oil? Because I'm asking this question because we have seen in the early 90s the oil crisis. Because of oil crisis, India had to borrow like money by keeping its gold. Like, so what if the oil price is coming in the future? And also, don't you think that this everything, like everything, now Arab countries also know that oil is not the future, but EV is the future. So if all of them shakes hand together, Russia, Arab countries, America, they have the major source of oil. Where would the other people would lie? What about Europeans? What about Indians? Because then we will be under a huge pressure to, I mean, to use the electric vehicles and electric, all the things become electrical, and we don't have rare earth metal. So the war of rare earth metal is taking place in the various parts of the world, including major war in the Ukraine. So what do you think? What should we do? Because we don't have such metals. We don't have oil. What should we do now?
I think we should first of all try to save oil, and secondly, we should try to also discover other sources of energy like sun energy or like electric vehicles and other vehicles. Only then we can
No,
be
that is the problem.
self-dependent.
That is the problem when we talk about electric vehicles, sun energy, and even windmill. One windmill contains 1,000 kilogram of rare earth metals. Electric vehicles also contain half of their weight is of rare earth metal. And about solar panels also. And there are major problems with their mining also, because you see China has stopped the mining of rare earth metal. Why? Because it's creating a lot of pollution. So they are building dams for their supply of electricity, and they are buying these metals from the other countries. Now, this is the problem, that we don't have them. And even if we try to find ourselves, it will create pollution. And we should not forget that we are a landed country. Our country is major part is like agriculture, or and that will destroy our agriculture, that will destroy our rivers. We can see our rivers are still polluted. So in that scenario, do you think like it might find funny that we should also try to go into the past and find that, like, start horse cart or bull cart or camel cart, because they, I find them like very eco-friendly. We don't need to cut mountains for making special roads. And do we really need to run so fast? I mean, do we really need to go to moon or any other places? I mean, is this a lifestyle we want to give to our future? They are not reading books. They don't know anything about the past. They are just becoming slaves of technology. What's your stand on that?
The, the thing is that going to the moon may be a strategic advantage. We have to show to the world that we are not lagging behind in trips to the moon, and we have that technology. So having that technology is very important. And secondly, so far as the source of power is concerned, source of petroleum, etc., we have to dig in more and more petroleum products have to be taken out of the earth. We have to drill more and more. We have achieved success in drilling many oil wells in India and around India. So therefore, we have to find the natural resources from our own land, our own our own sphere, land sphere, and water and mountains, whatever is available to us. So we are not a small country; we are a big country, and we can
But if we
defend ourselves so far as the shortage of power is concerned, shortage of
now
petroleum products is concerned.
if we adopt the system of artificial intelligence and automation of all of our things, our machines, our computers, everything, like maybe our home would be shifted. I mean, the scope, or we can say, see, it is unlimited. But there is also one thing, like the consumption of power and temperature rise of the planet. That thing we are not looking into, because it rises the temperature, and even with a 2 or 3 degree higher temperature, the planet can go underwater, like the snow can melt.
Actually, I attended a seminar 2 days ago. It was conducted by the Economic Times at Hotel Heroes, Nehru Place. In that seminar, all the speakers, they were emphasizing the need for AI, artificial intelligence. They said that artificial intelligence is the future and everything, and we should pay our attention to it. So there was no discussion with the audience. Therefore, I could not ask any question. I could not say that artificial intelligence, may also cause havoc. In fact, some speakers who were very well placed, some were vice chancellors, others were professors, they said that that artificial intelligence is going to rule, is going to affect our lives in a great way in the future. They also pointed out the drawbacks of artificial intelligence.
About Times of India, I mean, Times of India, we know that they are part of the political economic system, and they were the
Hmm.
amongst the first ones who started selling things online. I mean, they are not like they go into the rural sectors or speak on those agricultural economies. They are like see when this whole system of industrialization came, then also along with that a system of education came that promotes that thing, and that system continuing is promoting computers and artificial intelligence. So it's only one part of economy. We are not seeing even from that lens. Even if we consider Adam Smith as the father of political economy, I was reading Adam Smith last night, and what he was saying is that when you give so much emphasis to the manufacturing, apart from the agricultural things, the whole thing of them depends upon agriculture, and the prices and the people reduces from agriculture. That was his point. Now we are giving push to all these things about this changing the world. I mean, when I was translating the book, one of the chapters of Karl Marx, the very first line he writes from Stuart Mill, one of the famous economists, that before when this all thing came, after that, the toil of a common man hasn't been reduced, it has increased. Today it has also increased. With computers, it has also increased. Look at the software engineers who spend their lives sitting in front of computer. Now they're out of jobs. So how could these people say that artificial intelligence will create a better world where it needs resources of the earth, it want to spoil the earth, it want to it will increase the temperature of our planet. They are like one-sided things.
That is true. I mean, the thing is that, as I said earlier, also in another interview, that Mahatma Gandhi thought that that even a toothpick is a machine. But we cannot, go with this philosophy now. We have to go with the world if we want to keep ourselves safe. So whatever be the race for artificial intelligence, we have to.
But there is also one
Yeah,
thing. There is also one thing. See, Europe is doing classification of the things where they want to implement artificial intelligence. Our problem is we never classified things which we should go into the industrial sector, and now we are not classifying which sectors. If you are saying about defense system, that is one system, one classification.
mm,
But what they will do, they will implement everywhere, mindless implement. What will that, how
mm.
that will like affect our country?
Yes, I think a control should be established on how to use artificial intelligence. If it is not controlled, then it may cause a risk to the very defense of the country.
There is a one problem also with all the artificial
Hello.
intelligence and coding systems, that if you have the knowledge, you can easily break into that system. Even if we adopt them to defense system, we have seen like the cyber thefts which are taking place, and there are people like who can easily get control of your system. Okay, sir, coming to the another development which is taking place in India about the foreign funding to create the coup in Indian society. And now people are saying, and like there are incidents. First, the anti-corruption movement of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, Kiran Bedi, Yogendra Yadav, Anna Hazare, and supported by RSS. that this money came from foreign funding, and if the money has come and it was a coup, then as per Indian law, it is like what would you say? It's like Deshdroh. What's like the better term you would use?
Yes, it's
So could you
anti-national.
elaborate on this aspect of foreign funding in India? Like if people take foreign funding and they create a coup in the society, what are the consequences they can face legally in India?
Actually, accepting foreign currency, for in an illegal manner is prohibited. I mean, there are laws to regulate acceptance of foreign funds, and if Mr. Kejriwal and others have accepted foreign funds, then I think law should take its own course and investigate all
But
all
if
the
if BJP and RSS has also taken, if they have also taken, will they
so
go more
anybody
forward?
anybody who has taken
But
anyone who has taken,
the government has responsibility of investigation, and they have already taken, how would they investigate? This is the end of
this
democracy.
I don't
This
know
is the
how.
end of our democracy.
No, it's not end of our democracy. Actually, I do not know how the government is going to conduct any investigation. It is for them to decide how to who accepted the money and who did not accept. So things like that. It's for the government to decide.
What about this information that Mr. Modi did some deal with United States? I mean, it's okay, the deal is legal, and within the 2 months he implemented demonetization in India. So this is also a foreign influence in India against the Indian economy. How do you see this?
I'm sorry, I did not understand your question.
Mr.
Please repeat your question.
Mr. Narendra Modi made some deal with United States legally. He made on the digitalization of money, and after that deal, within 2 months, he implemented demonetization policy in India, which had devastating effect on our lot of our industries. So this is also an influence of United States on our economy, which Mr. Modi did. How do you see this?
Digitization of money, you mean the people they use cards and other things to pay their bills? Do you mean this?
It's not only about cards and bills. It's also about the control over the capital, control of
Uh,
over the capital, and that control is also on the people.
no, control over the capital. I don't know anything about this. Whether it has been
And
done.
since that time, the stringent laws are made in India, like you can't take more than such amount from ATM, and banking laws are becoming more stringent from taking out money, and such laws are already there in America. So it's like, don't you see? It's like a prelude. It's like a prelude of the American control over India, which Mr. Modi helped that.
Well, I don't know whether Mr. Modi is going to help American control over Indian banks, but the fact is that banks, they are running in losses, and now they are trying to control the money which has been deposited in different accounts by people. If if the balance of an account goes below the minimum, then they charge, they charge money from the accounts. So in this way, they are trying to offset their losses. But these losses have been caused because people take loans and don't repay them, and they take loans by unfair means, by paying bribes, perhaps.
Taking loan and not repaying is something different, sir. But control over this whole system of economy through digital means is something different. Don't you think so?
Hmm.
And the people who have taken the bigger loans, they have escaped. I mean, there is a data.
Yes,
every
that is
day.
wrong.
People who have taken bigger
They should
loans, they
return.
escape from India every day. Not the people who have
They
taken.
should return the loans, and the government should follow them, pursue them, and bring them back or bring the money back to India.
But what about the consequences of this? Like this is like a very chronology. Don't you see any chronology? Demonetization, digitalization of money, GST, stringent laws on capital, and even the policies of like creating toilets and all the various policies. They are part of American influence in India. And now they are not giving subsidies in fertilizers to farmers.
Well, they should the subsidy on fertilizer should be given to the farmers. And so far as toilets are concerned, I think it's a good exercise for to create hygiene in the villages, to create a hygienic life in villages, to make life better, and also to prevent women, from going to the fields in the open. I've seen in Delhi
Because
rows of women
see, people were
sitting,
people were gradually when see these things were already taking place. It's not that we didn't have any toilets in the villages. People who were having better off, they were doing this. But it is also like about the fertilizers. They wanted to sell fertilizers. That's also there. Now, my last question is, how do you see India in future in terms of its economy, where the farmers would be there and where the industrialists would be there? Now, why I am asking this last question? Because I am reading this and we are seeing that all farmers, every day 3,000 farmers are getting away from agriculture. The whole system of urbanization depends upon them, raw material, food, supplies, animal husbandry related products. Now, if our farming is not in a good economy, who will give support to this urbanization? Now, an urban people in the urbanization, they buy something from China for say 10 rupee and they sell to 100 rupee. But to get the 90% profit that comes from the agriculture or the people who are connected to agriculture or their products. But if agriculture stops, where does that 90% of 90 rupee of margin would come? And if we say that we will import the agricultural products, from where would we get that money?
Actually, agriculture sector should be supported by all means by all the people, especially the government. I want to say that the farmers should be given the freedom to sell their produce even in the cities. They can sell their produce in the cities. They should be allowed to come and sell to whomsoever they want. Asking for MSP may not be of use, as I said earlier.
Sir, when you
Yes.
say this about MSP, I mean the proper word which we should know is expropriation. Expropriation by the government. They should take that and they should distribute that and give them something. That equity in the expropriation and equity in the distribution of investment is not taking place. Now, what Adam Smith says that if you invest more into these manufacturing, it will certainly devaluate your agriculture. And once your agriculture is devaluated, these things won't survive because they depend upon agriculture. But what government is doing through all these Kisan credits and giving more credits and giving them industrial products, they are making them slaves and they are by investing more into manufacturing. And now we see our manufacturing is also going down because we are importing from China. Not only us, but most of the countries are importing from China. So don't you think that government should invest more into agriculture, animal husbandry, and all those things?
Yes, government should help the agriculture sector and also animal husbandry because many farmers, depend upon farming also. Like like milk production and other things like poultry farms, etc. So they should be developed and in a large manner. I think now even the milk which we drink in cities, that milk is not that pure. It looks like whitened water, with white color. So that power is not there, and the farmers should be given cheap, fertilizers and all the things that they want.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming to our channel and giving your views on all these happenings which are taking place in India and in the world. I hope people have understood the urgencies, the importance of the developments which are taking place, how they are going, and the debate should continue with other, like other people. Don't go for what one side is saying, because one side could be very much influenced by the selfishness of other people. Just
Yes,
go over debates, discuss these things. And finally, if you wanted to read books which are published by Mr. Ar- Amritlal Rawal ji, Mr. A. L. Rawal ji, and many books of Dr. Ambedkar ji, and books on economy, we also have some books on economy, that do call me on 8527533051 and 88511 8852750 and 88511 We have a website nspmart.com, nspmart.com. I am Nikhil Sablania. I was with you for this program with Mr. A. L. Rawalji. Thank you very much, sir. Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat.
thank you. Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat.